Sometimes, the people closest to you will be the ones to hurt you the most. This isn't just about revenge, it's about standing up for yourself and finding your voice even when it's scary. It's about how the truth, even when it's painful, can set you free. Hi, my name is Jordan Ellis, and I'm 32 years old. It all started a long time ago, when I was just 17 years old. I was still figuring out who I was and what I wanted to be. I trusted my family, especially Aunt Lisa. But that trust would soon be broken in a way I never imagined. Okay, let's go back to when I was 17. I was attending church regularly with my family. Our pastor, Pastor David, was a pillar of our community. Everyone loved him. He was kind, gave great sermons, and always seemed to have the right words to say. Aunt Lisa, especially, admired him. She volunteered at the church constantly and always spoke highly of him. One day, after a youth group meeting, Pastor David asked me to stay behind. He said he wanted to talk to me about my future and my faith. I was flattered. I thought he saw potential in me. But the conversation quickly took a turn. He started saying things that made me uncomfortable. He complimented my appearance in a way that felt wrong. He started talking about how mature I was for my age and how he felt a special connection with me. Then, he touched my arm. Just a light touch, but it sent shivers down my spine. I knew, deep down, that this wasn't right. This wasn't the kind of attention a pastor should be giving a 17-year-old girl. I excused myself and ran out of the church as fast as I could. I didn't know what to do. I was scared and confused. I didn't tell anyone for a few days. I tried to convince myself that I had imagined it, that I was overreacting. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible had happened. Finally, I confided in Aunt Lisa. I trusted her. I thought she would understand and help me. I told her everything, every detail of the conversation, every uncomfortable feeling. I was shaking as I spoke, tears streaming down my face. I needed her support more than anything. I thought she would be on my side. I was so wrong. Aunt Lisa didn't believe me at first. She said I must have misunderstood Pastor David, that he would never do something like that. She said I was young and probably just misinterpreting his kindness. I tried to explain how uncomfortable I felt, how wrong it was, but she wouldn't listen. Then, her tone changed. She became angry. She said I was trying to ruin Pastor David's reputation, that I was attacking a good man. She said I was being selfish and not thinking about the consequences for the church and the community. She even said that I was probably just seeking attention. I was stunned. This wasn't the reaction I expected at all. I thought she would be angry at Pastor David, but instead, she was angry at me. She told me I had to apologize to him. She said I had to tell everyone that I had made it all up, that I had misunderstood his intentions. I refused. I couldn't do that. It wasn't true. But Aunt Lisa was relentless. She pressured me, she guilt-tripped me, she even threatened to tell my parents that I was lying. She said if I didn't apologize, I would ruin the family's reputation. Finally, I gave in. I was exhausted and broken. I couldn't fight her anymore. I went to Pastor David and apologized. I told him I had misunderstood him, that I was sorry for causing trouble. He accepted my apology with a smug look on his face. Aunt Lisa made sure everyone knew that I had apologized. She told everyone that I had made a mistake and that Pastor David was a good man. She painted me as a liar and a troublemaker. And just like that, the whole family turned against me. My family, who I had always believed would support me, now treated me like an outcast. They whispered about me behind my back. They avoided me at family gatherings. My parents, who were usually so loving and understanding, were distant and cold. They seemed to believe Aunt Lisa's version of the story, that I was a liar and a troublemaker. I felt completely alone. It was like the world had turned upside down. The people I loved and trusted the most had abandoned me. I didn't know where to turn. I stopped going to church. I couldn't face Pastor David or Aunt Lisa. I felt ashamed and humiliated. The experience changed me. I became more withdrawn and guarded. I had a hard time trusting people. I questioned everything and everyone. It took me a long time to heal from the emotional scars. Eventually, Pastor David confessed. Years later, after similar accusations from other young women, he admitted to his inappropriate behavior. But by then, the damage was done. My reputation was already tarnished, and the family had already made up their minds about me. Aunt Lisa never apologized. She never admitted that she was wrong. She continued to portray herself as the victim, the one who had been trying to protect the church and the community. And the family continued to believe her. For years, I carried that pain and resentment. I tried to move on with my life, but the memory of that betrayal always lingered in the back of my mind. It was a dark cloud hanging over me, reminding me of the injustice I had suffered. I knew, one day, I would have to confront it. And confront her. Fast forward 19 years. I had built a good life for myself. I had a loving husband, a beautiful home in Atlanta, and 2 wonderful children. I had tried to put the past behind me, but it was always there, lurking in the shadows. Then, Aunt Lisa and her husband, Uncle Mark, needed help. They had fallen on hard times and were struggling financially. Despite everything that had happened, I couldn't bring myself to turn them away. My husband, bless his heart, agreed. We had a guest house on our property, so we offered it to them. They moved in, and we did our best to support them. We helped them with groceries, paid for their medical bills, and even gave them money for other expenses. Over the course of a year, we gave them over $20,000. It was a lot of money, but we felt it was the right thing to do. We were helping family in need. At first, things seemed to be going well. Aunt Lisa was grateful, or at least she pretended to be. She helped around the house and played with the kids. I started to think that maybe, just maybe, we could finally put the past behind us and build a new relationship. But it wasn't long before things started to change. Aunt Lisa started complaining about everything. She complained about the guest house being too small, about the food we served, and about the way we raised our children. She started making snide remarks and passive-aggressive comments. I tried to ignore it, but it was hard. It was like she was deliberately trying to provoke me, to push my buttons. And then, the second betrayal came. It was even worse than the first. My husband, Mark, yes, I know, same name as my uncle, got a fantastic job offer in Texas. It was a huge opportunity for him, a chance to advance his career and provide even more for our family. But it meant moving, leaving our support system in Atlanta, and figuring out childcare. I was stressed. How would I manage everything? Then, I thought of Aunt Lisa. She was living in our guest house, she said she wanted to help more, and she loved our kids. It seemed like the perfect solution. I approached her, hesitantly, and asked if she would be willing to help with childcare while we transitioned to Texas. I offered to pay her, of course. Her reaction shocked me. She acted as if I had asked her to chop off her arm. She said she couldn't believe I would even consider asking her, that we were just using her. She said she had her own life and didn't want to be tied down with our kids. I was hurt and confused. I had offered her a chance to be a part of our lives, to finally redeem herself after all those years. But she rejected it outright. And then, things got even worse. She started talking about us behind our backs. She told other family members that we were taking advantage of her, that we were ungrateful and demanding. She painted us as the villains, just like she had done 19 years ago. But the most devastating thing she did was to badmouth me to my husband. She told him lies about me, things that were designed to undermine our marriage and create distrust. She was trying to drive a wedge between us, just like she had tried to drive a wedge between me and my family all those years ago. This time, though, I wouldn't let her win. My husband, thankfully, is a smart man. He didn't immediately believe Aunt Lisa's lies. He came to me, concerned, and asked if what she was saying was true. I could see the worry in his eyes, the uncertainty. That's when I knew I had to act. I sat him down and told him everything. I told him about the past, about Pastor David, about how Aunt Lisa had turned the whole family against me. I explained how she had a pattern of manipulating people and spreading lies to get what she wanted. I told him how she had tried to ruin my life once before, and now she was trying to do it again. He listened patiently, his expression growing more and more serious. When I finished, he hugged me tightly. He said he believed me, that he knew Aunt Lisa was capable of anything. He was angry, not at me, but at her. Together, we confronted Aunt Lisa. We asked her why she was spreading lies about us, why she was trying to damage our marriage. She denied everything, of course. She said we were making it all up, that we were paranoid and delusional. She even tried to turn on the tears, but it didn't work this time. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I know what you're doing, Lisa. You've done this before. You can't deny it anymore." She just glared at me, her face twisted with anger. She knew she had been caught. But she still refused to admit anything. She stormed off, muttering about how ungrateful we were. That's when I realized that I couldn't let her get away with it anymore. I couldn't let her continue to manipulate and deceive our family. I had to expose her, once and for all. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to do it. I had to protect my family, my marriage, and myself. It was time for the truth to come out. My first instinct was to yell, to scream, to lash out at Aunt Lisa for all the pain she had caused me. But I knew that wouldn't solve anything. It would only give her more ammunition to use against me. I needed to be smart, to be strategic. I decided to gather evidence. I started documenting everything Aunt Lisa said and did. I kept a journal of her lies and manipulations. I saved emails and text messages that proved her deceit. I even started recording some of our conversations, just in case I needed them later. It was exhausting and stressful, but I knew it was necessary. I needed to have solid proof to back up my claims. I couldn't rely on my word alone. I knew Aunt Lisa would deny everything, so I needed to have undeniable evidence. As I gathered more and more evidence, I became angrier and angrier. I couldn't believe that she was still trying to hurt me after all these years. I couldn't believe that she was so determined to destroy my happiness. But I also felt a sense of determination. I wasn't going to let her win this time. I wasn't going to let her ruin my life again. I was going to fight back, and I was going to win. I started planning my next move. I knew I couldn't confront Aunt Lisa alone. She would just deny everything and try to turn everyone against me again. I needed to involve the whole family. I needed to show them the truth, once and for all. But how? How could I convince them that Aunt Lisa was lying? How could I overcome years of manipulation and deception? I knew it would be a challenge, but I was ready to face it. I had the truth on my side, and that was the most powerful weapon of all. I decided on a Zoom meeting. It was the only way to get everyone together at once. It was risky, but I was willing to take the chance. It was time for the truth to be revealed. Sending out the Zoom invitation was the hardest part. I knew that once I hit send, there was no turning back. I was about to expose a family secret that had been buried for years. I was about to confront my Aunt Lisa in front of everyone. I was about to risk everything. I drafted the email carefully. I explained that I needed to share something important with the family, something that had been weighing on me for a long time. I didn't give any details, but I hinted that it was about Aunt Lisa's behavior. I set a date and time and asked everyone to attend. The responses started trickling in. Some family members were curious, others were skeptical, and a few were outright hostile. Aunt Lisa, of course, didn't respond at all. I knew she would be there, though. She wouldn't miss a chance to defend herself. The day of the Zoom meeting arrived, and I was a nervous wreck. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, and I could barely breathe. My husband held my hand and reassured me that I was doing the right thing. As everyone started logging in, I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself. I knew I had to be strong, to be clear, and to be convincing. I had to present the evidence in a way that would leave no room for doubt. Aunt Lisa logged in, her face tight and angry. She sat next to Uncle Mark, who looked uncomfortable and confused. I could feel her eyes burning into me, daring me to say something. I took another deep breath and began to speak. I started by thanking everyone for attending and explaining why I had called the meeting. Then, I launched into my story. I told them everything, from the incident with Pastor David to Aunt Lisa's recent lies and manipulations. I laid out the evidence, one piece at a time, showing them the emails, the text messages, and the journal entries. As I spoke, I could see the shock and disbelief on their faces. They were finally starting to see Aunt Lisa for who she really was. And as for Aunt Lisa, she sat in silence, her face growing redder and redder with each passing minute. She knew she had been caught, and there was nothing she could do to stop me. The truth was finally out. The silence after I finished speaking was deafening. You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone was staring at Aunt Lisa, waiting for her to say something, to defend herself, to deny the accusations. But she just sat there, frozen, her face a mask of anger and shame. Finally, my mother spoke. Her voice was trembling, but it was firm. "Lisa," she said, "is this true? Did you really do these things?" Aunt Lisa didn't answer. She just looked down at her hands, avoiding everyone's gaze. My father spoke next. His voice was filled with disappointment. "Lisa, I always thought you were a good person. I can't believe you would do something like this." One by one, other family members spoke up, expressing their shock, their anger, and their disappointment. They asked Aunt Lisa questions, demanding answers. They wanted to know why she had lied, why she had tried to hurt me, why she had betrayed their trust. Aunt Lisa remained silent. She didn't offer any excuses, any apologies, or any explanations. She just sat there, letting the accusations wash over her. Finally, Uncle Mark spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. "Lisa," he said, "is any of this true?" Aunt Lisa looked up at him, her eyes filled with tears. She nodded her head slowly. "Yes," she said, "it's true." The room erupted in chaos. Everyone started talking at once, expressing their outrage and their disbelief. Uncle Mark looked devastated. He couldn't believe that his wife had been lying to him for so long. I sat back and watched the scene unfold. I felt a sense of relief, but also a sense of sadness. It was over. The truth was finally out. But the damage had been done. Our family would never be the same. Then I said my piece. "I didn't do this for revenge," I said. "I did this for the truth. I did this so that we can all be better." And with that I logged off. My work here was done. After I logged off the Zoom call, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if my family would forgive me for exposing Aunt Lisa's secrets, or if they would be angry at me for causing so much drama. I didn't know if Aunt Lisa would ever speak to me again, or if she would continue to deny everything. I decided to focus on myself and my family. We packed up our belongings and moved to Texas. It was a fresh start, a chance to build a new life, free from the drama and negativity of the past. Slowly, things started to change. Family members started reaching out to me, apologizing for not believing me all those years ago. They said they were sorry for treating me so badly, and they were grateful that I had finally revealed the truth about Aunt Lisa. My parents were the last to come around. It took them a while to process everything, but eventually, they called me and apologized. They said they had been blinded by their loyalty to Aunt Lisa, but they finally realized that she had been manipulating them for years. They asked for my forgiveness, and I gave it to them. I knew that they had been victims of Aunt Lisa's deception just as much as I had. As for Aunt Lisa, she never apologized. She never admitted that she was wrong. She continued to live in denial, blaming everyone else for her problems. But that was okay. I didn't need her apology. I had the truth on my side, and that was enough. I learned a lot from this experience. I learned the importance of standing up for yourself, even when it's difficult. I learned the power of truth and how it can set you free. I learned that family isn't always about blood, but about love, trust, and support. And most importantly, I learned that you can't change other people, but you can change how you react to them. I couldn't change Aunt Lisa, but I could change how I let her affect my life. And I chose to let her go. I chose to focus on my own happiness and well-being. And that was the best decision I ever made. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. Looking back, I realized that Aunt Lisa's actions, as awful as they were, taught me some valuable lessons. They taught me the importance of trusting my own instincts. When Pastor David made those advances, something inside me knew it was wrong. I should have listened to that feeling, instead of trying to rationalize it away. They also taught me the importance of choosing your battles. Not every disagreement is worth fighting over. Sometimes, it's better to let things go, to walk away, to focus on your own well-being. But when someone is deliberately trying to hurt you, when someone is trying to manipulate and control you, that's a battle worth fighting. And most importantly, they taught me the importance of forgiveness. Not necessarily forgiving the person who hurt you, but forgiving yourself for allowing them to hurt you. Forgiving yourself for not speaking up sooner, for not standing up for yourself, for not knowing better. Holding on to anger and resentment only hurts you in the end. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is about letting go of that poison, about freeing yourself from the burden of the past. I'm not saying it's easy. Forgiveness is hard work. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to let go of your ego. But it's worth it. It's the only way to truly heal and move on with your life. I still have moments when I think about what happened with Aunt Lisa and Pastor David. I still feel a twinge of anger, a flicker of sadness. But those moments are fewer and farther between now. I've learned to accept the past, to learn from it, and to move on. I'm grateful for the life I have now. I have a loving husband, wonderful children, and a supportive community. I'm happy, healthy, and free. And that's all that matters. So let them talk, because now they are telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. I often get asked if I regret exposing Aunt Lisa the way I did. People wonder if it was worth it, if it caused too much pain and disruption in our family. And my answer is always the same: no, I don't regret it. It was hard, yes. It was painful, yes. It caused a lot of drama, yes. But it was also necessary. It was the only way to break free from Aunt Lisa's control, to protect my family, and to reclaim my own life. I believe that truth is always worth fighting for, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's difficult. Lies and secrets only fester and grow, causing more pain and damage in the long run. Truth, on the other hand, has the power to heal, to liberate, and to bring people together. I also believe that it's important to stand up for yourself, even when you're afraid. When someone is trying to hurt you, when someone is trying to manipulate you, you have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to say no, to set boundaries, and to protect your own well-being. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because in the end, you're the only one who can truly protect yourself. You're the only one who can truly create the life you want to live. So, if you're facing a similar situation, if you're dealing with someone who is trying to hurt you or manipulate you, I encourage you to stand up for yourself. Speak your truth. Set boundaries. Protect your well-being. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because in the end, you deserve to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. And you have the power to create that life for yourself. And remember, you are not alone. There are people who care about you, people who support you, and people who will stand by you. Reach out to them. Ask for help. You don't have to go through it alone. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. Some people might call what I did revenge. They might say I was trying to get back at Aunt Lisa for all the pain she had caused me. But that's not how I saw it. For me, it was about justice. It was about holding Aunt Lisa accountable for her actions. It was about protecting others from her manipulation and deceit. Revenge is about hurting someone because they hurt you. It's about trying to inflict pain and suffering on them. Justice, on the other hand, is about restoring balance and fairness. It's about making sure that everyone is treated equally and that no one is above the law. I wasn't trying to hurt Aunt Lisa. I was trying to expose the truth. I was trying to show my family what she was really like. And I was trying to protect myself from her harmful behavior. I believe that justice is important. It's essential for a healthy and functioning society. Without justice, there would be chaos and anarchy. People would be free to do whatever they wanted, without any consequences. That's why I felt it was so important to expose Aunt Lisa. She had gotten away with her behavior for too long. She had manipulated and deceived people without any repercussions. It was time for her to face the consequences of her actions. And while it was difficult and painful, I believe it was the right thing to do. It brought closure to a long and difficult chapter in my life. It allowed me to move on and focus on my own happiness and well-being. So, no, I don't see it as revenge. I see it as justice. And I'm proud of myself for standing up for what I believe in. I'm free. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. What happened to Aunt Lisa after the Zoom call? Honestly, I don't know all the details. I heard through the grapevine that she and Uncle Mark eventually separated. I heard that she moved to another state to be closer to some other relatives. I heard that she's still telling her version of the story, still trying to paint herself as the victim. But I don't pay much attention to it anymore. I've learned to let go of the need to control the narrative. I've learned to accept that some people will never understand, and that's okay. What matters is that I know the truth. What matters is that I stood up for myself. What matters is that I'm free. I sometimes wonder if Aunt Lisa is happy. I wonder if she ever regrets her actions. I wonder if she ever wishes she could take it all back. But those are her questions to answer, not mine. I can't control her thoughts, her feelings, or her actions. I can only control my own. And I choose to focus on the positive. I choose to focus on my own happiness and well-being. I choose to surround myself with people who love and support me. I choose to live a life filled with joy, gratitude, and purpose. That's my revenge, if you want to call it that. My revenge is living a good life, despite everything that has happened. My revenge is being happy, despite all the pain and suffering. My revenge is being free, despite all the attempts to control me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for the strength I've found. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my story with you. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And thank you for believing in me. I hope my story has inspired you to stand up for yourself, to speak your truth, and to live your best life. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. And so, that's my story. It's a story of betrayal, manipulation, and deceit. But it's also a story of strength, resilience, and hope. I hope that by sharing my story, I can help others who are going through similar experiences. I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not crazy. And you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. If you're being manipulated or abused, please reach out for help. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. There are people who care about you and want to support you. Don't let anyone silence you. Don't let anyone control you. Don't let anyone steal your joy. You are strong. You are capable. And you are worthy of love and happiness. Stand up for yourself. Speak your truth. And create the life you deserve. Thank you again for listening. It means more than you know. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. I want to leave you with one final thought. It's something that I've learned over the years, something that has helped me through many difficult times. It's this: you are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you believe. And you are capable of overcoming anything that life throws your way. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone diminish your worth. Don't let anyone steal your joy. You are a unique and valuable individual with your own strengths, your own talents, and your own purpose in life. Embrace who you are. Celebrate your individuality. And never give up on your dreams. Believe in yourself. Trust your instincts. And know that you have the power to create the life you want to live. The world needs your light. It needs your voice. It needs your unique perspective. Don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to speak up. And don't be afraid to be yourself. You are amazing. You are worthy. And you are loved. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. And so can you be. Thank you. That phrase, now they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth, has become something of a mantra for me. It reminds me that even after years of lies and deception, the truth will eventually come out. It reminds me that even when things seem hopeless, there is always a chance for change. And it reminds me that I am free. Free from the burden of the past. Free from the control of others. Free to live my life on my own terms. That feeling of freedom is something I cherish every day. It's something that I never take for granted. And it's something that I want to share with you. I want you to know that you too can be free. You too can break free from the chains of the past. You too can live a life filled with joy, purpose, and authenticity. It won't be easy. It will take courage, determination, and a willingness to face your fears. But it's possible. I promise you, it's possible. Just remember to trust your instincts, to choose your battles wisely, and to forgive yourself for your mistakes. And never, ever give up on yourself. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you believe. And you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. So, go out there and live your life to the fullest. Embrace your individuality. Shine your light. And let the world know who you truly are. Because you are amazing. You are worthy. And you are loved. Now, they're all talking, but this time, they're telling the truth. Let them talk. I'm free. And so can you be. Thank you.